supply LED lighting to residences, to offices, to retail stores. We have all kinds of lighting that you may require. Bright LED lighting was established in 2013. So that's almost a decade ago, 8 years. It started as a conversation with my mother. At that time, I was at university. I was abroad. So it was just one evening. I came home for holidays, and I had this conversation with my mother that why is it that when I'm abroad, there's lighting throughout at the university, in the street, there's lighting 24/7. And mind you, they are not solar powered, it's electricity powered, okay? So this got me thinking, aren't they scared of electricity bills? You know, it's not like here, every time, zima taa, bili inakuja kubwa, eh? But over there, no one cares. So that got me interested, you know? How are they saving energy? What are the costs? How reliable are these products? Yeah? And during my research, I found out that they use LED lighting. And at that time, almost a decade ago, we didn't have a lot of LED lighting in the Kenyan market. And if we did, it was maybe a big, posh person, a politician that brought them from abroad. So that's the conversation I had with my mother, like, why don't we venture into this thing, you know, this lucrative thing? I'm sure the Kenyan market would be ready for it, okay? And also, it was a challenge for me to find products that were affordable but also reliable. You know, there was a lot of substandard products at that time, you know. So it took me a while visiting different factories at the time, looking for reliable suppliers. Eventually, after so much effort and a lot of back and forth with my mother over here, I found good suppliers that had connections all over the world. They were in touch with the latest technology, all the latest LED lighting, they were in touch with them. And that's how we started, you know. It started with me being at university, with a conversation with my mother here. You know, we wanted different LED lightings. You know, here in Mombasa, it's everywhere you go, you see substandard lighting. It's just the same. It's just the same. Everywhere you see tube light, tube light, tube light. You go to the supermarket, tube light. You go at home, tube light. You go in the living room, tube light. Bathroom, tube light. Restaurant, tube light. Well, over there, it was a variety of lighting, and not just one color. We had white light, we had warm lighting, and they all affected our moods. That's what I came to understand, yeah? So I wanted that for us. You know, Mombasa is a beautiful city. I love my city so much, and I want that for us here, for my people, you know, for the Kenyan people, not just Mombasa people, for the Kenyan people, because at some point we will grow. I come from a family of business people. Yeah? My father and my mother, both of them, have been working together for the longest time, ever since I was a baby. They've been working together. They run a different company together. So I had this, first I had the training, okay? And then while I pitched the idea to this, obviously I'll need to know where to get the funds from. So I included my father in it, like, okay, you have a business, you can support us. Why don't you give us a loan? We started with a loan of 500,000 shillings to get LED bulbs, just bulbs. We just started with bulbs, nothing, all this fancy stuff we didn't have. So we started with a loan of 500,000 from my father, and that took us off. It has not been an easy journey, yeah. We have had a lot of challenges, a lot of question marks from the Mombasa people. What is this? Why is it not cheap like the incandescent bulbs, the halogen bulbs? Why is this more expensive? You know, so first we had the challenge of educating people. You know, why they need LED lighting, why is it beneficial to them, yeah? So we had those challenges at the beginning. It was not always profitable. There were times we were negative. You know, we couldn't pay our salaries. We didn't have staff. It was just the two of us running the shop. And it was a much smaller shop than this. And we started getting into banks to ask for assistance. By 2015, 2016, we got wind of ABSA, helping small businesses and entrepreneurs, and especially women. So we approached ABSA Bank, we pitched in our business, we gave them our business profile, we sat down, we discussed with the team, and they saw that we were doing something good for the economy. Yeah, we were bringing energy-saving lighting, something that can help also Kenya at large, you know, with the electricity grid and everything. And they assisted us with a loan of about 3 million shillings. They gave us that loan, and we were able to get more stock. And ABSA proved to us that they were a dependable financial partner. You know, they stood with us when we were very shaky. Up to this point that you see us, it was ABSA, to be honest. They really stood with us. We started the business here in Mombasa, first of all because it's my hometown, it's where I live, it's where I grew up. I relate well to the people, to the society, and you know, it's very important in business to relate well with people. You can't just open a shop and expect people to walk in while you just sit there waiting for the money to come in. No, you have to go out there, talk to people, identify yourself. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you do this? You know, and as a female entrepreneur at that time, it wasn't something very common for people to see. Yeah, people, especially in a traditional society like Mombasa, people are used to men doing all this field work, being in the shops. It wasn't very common for females to do. So that helped, let's say, not helped, but it gave me a platform for people to want to hear what I have to say. Who is this girl? Why is she here? Why is she saying this? Why is she doing this? Why did her parents let her do this, you know? So already people were intrigued by what I have to say before I even have to say it. And that helped me. In a way, it did help me. But it was also a disadvantage because people will listen to you, but then at the same time, they go like, but it's just run by a girl, by a woman, you know? When I tell them about my mother, about me, they're not serious, they can't be serious. You know how women are. They're not very reliable. That's the perception that people have here in Mombasa. Well, at least back then. People have changed now. The society has changed a lot. People are more educated. People's needs are very individualized. You know, it's not like a long time ago. Just a few years ago, people come in, they want the same light that they saw their friend that has, you know, I want nataka ile sitaki nyingine. We have a variety of products, so the walk-ins that we get, huyu ataka hii anapewa, huyu anataka hii kitu nyingine anapata. You know, it's not like anakuja and he only finds one thing. That's what used to happen a few years ago in Mombasa. People just wanted one thing. They just wanted nataka ile mshuma. That's what happened just a few years ago. But now people want nataka bulb, nataka security light, nataka dining light, you know. It's become very dynamic. So we started with that, going to people. We started with our friends and then our relatives. And we didn't get a lot of support from our relatives, you know. As you know, as they always say, you know, charity does begin at home, but at the same time, it ends up being strangers that help you more than your own relatives. That's the truth of the matter, you know. So it was tough. So we had to jump now from people that we know to people that we don't know. So we went to people that we don't know. We approached big companies, we approached real estate projects, and with free samples, it cost us in the beginning because we had to give a lot of free samples, we had to give a lot of presentations, so it's taking us a lot of time. But once people saw the product, they saw that Bright LED lighting actually does have good products. It's affordable, but it's also very reliable. You can change the normal incandescent bulb that you buy at 50 shillings 3 times before you change mine, the one that you buy at 150 shillings, once. Okay? So in the long run, people realize that we're actually saving them money. We are saving the economy money, you know, the government also. I think they should recognize this green energy sector, yeah, not to give us a very hard time when we're importing, you know, when we're selling, because we're actually saving people energy and time and money. So that's how we got how people started trusting us, yeah? They started trusting us slowly, slowly, up, down, you know, it wasn't always good. Sometimes it was bad. We would go to 10 customers and maybe only 1 would come back to us. The 9 wouldn't come back to us. Okay, so we came from there to now where if we go to 10 customers and we know what we're presenting to them, we'll have at least 5 to 6 clients coming back to us instead of the 1 that it was back then. When COVID came, there was a disruption in the economy. Okay, business started falling down. People were withholding their money. They didn't want to spend it on lights where they have basic necessities to stock up on. People wanted food, they wanted fuel. They weren't thinking of LED lighting, yeah? But, you know, when you don't think of these things, they end up costing you. Because you'll be focusing on those basic necessities, but then, let's say your bulb runs out. Will you operate anything without light? Come night, will you be in the dark? You will not be in the dark, yeah? So you go and change to your incandescent or halogen bulb, yeah? 2 weeks time, that bulb will fail. Will you go and buy again? You won't. So it's important to realize that, you know, LED lighting does actually help people, yeah? In the long run, it saves you so much money, especially with us here at Bright LED Lighting. That's our, you know, that's our goal, that's our motto. We want to save people money, save energy. We want to go green, okay? We want to have a green economy. There's already a lot of pollution out there. There's carbon monoxide everywhere. You know, electricity bills are going high, fuels. You know, at the end of every tunnel, there's a light. Absa Bank stepped in. You know, they offered us a loan repayment relief holiday for 3 months. You know, those 3 months, they don't seem a lot, but to a business person, it's a lot. We saved a lot of money, you know, because no money was coming in. It was very little money. We could barely pay our staff. We could barely pay our salaries. We had to cut down on spending. We had to cut down on staff. So with the help of ABSA, you know, ABSA is being the strong financial partner as it is, it helped us through this period. You know, it acted as a cushion for our business. So at Bright LED Lighting, we don't compromise on quality, okay? Cheap products coming into the market, counterfeit, substandard products, they made it hard for us to convince a Kenyan customer why he needs to buy a bulb which is of a higher value than an almost identical one, which is very cheap and it's found almost everywhere. Okay, so that was a challenge for us. It's always a challenge, but they don't realize that we offer very good products. Our products are of high quality, are reliable. Okay, so by the time they realize that cheap is always expensive, After they've gone back to buy that light 3 times, they come here and they said, okay, I've bought this light 3 times. Lakini sijui kuna shida gani kwa nyumba yangu, inaungua tu. And I tell them, hakuna shida kwa nyumba yako, shida ni hiyo taa. That's what I tell them. Na ikiungua, aiungui, mama hata usifanye wasiwasi, aiungui hiyo bulb. You know, so I have to convince them that, and give them warranty that, you know, hii bulb ikiungua, kwa mwaka tu moja, we niregeshe, I will replace it for you for free. So when a customer hears that, you know, they get encouraged, you know, they get very much encouraged. So that's how they end up buying our products. That's how we overcome these challenges, you know, by offering these kind of warranty periods. If a product doesn't work within a certain period of time, please bring it back. We will gladly exchange it free of charge for you. Unpredictable government regulations, okay? So as a dynamic economy, regulations and rules are changing every single time, okay? The government imposes new taxes, new levies all the time. The cargo clearance is also, can get very headache, you know, it's a very big headache for us for the cargo clearance. So these kind of things, they discourage this sector, you know, because we are bringing in things that promote the green economy, you know, they actually help the government with the electrical grid. So this is a problem that we're still facing, and we are hoping the government to ease on these regulations so that we can bring in more green products and encourage others to bring in, and for the price to be more affordable to the local consumer. I went abroad and I studied engineering. I studied telecommunications engineering. That took me a minimum amount of 4 years. I was there for over four and a half years. And during my time abroad, that's when I got the idea of starting an LED lighting business. You see, bright LED lighting wasn't just found online or on the internet or in an exhibition. No. It was found out of inspiration. You know, I was abroad, I was studying, and I was doing something not very different, but something that's not really related to what I was studying. Okay, here I was studying an engineering student, but I was already into entrepreneurship. Okay, because of my background, of where I come from. We come from a family of entrepreneurs. So I came back to Mombasa, not wanting to stay there. See, my degree ended after 4 years, but that half year I was there, it was not for me to study. It was for me to find, do I want to stay here? Are there opportunities for me to make me want to stay here? And I was able to secure a job, a good job, you know, something that would pay me well, even better than if I get a job here, if I was employed here. But it's not the same, you know. When you come back home, you get this urge, this desire that you can bring something good to the place that you love the most, to the place that you were born, that you grew in, that nurtured you up to where you are, up to you going out there. You know, you have to think, where did all this start? Where did I come from? So after half a year, I realized I don't really want to stay there. There's so many opportunities, but there's even better opportunities back home. Okay? When you're abroad, you'll always be a foreigner. You will get your salary, you will get whatever you want, but you will always be a foreigner. And if you don't start bringing these opportunities back home, then how will you know that these opportunities even exist back home? How will you tap into that market? You know, someone has to start tapping into that market and see, does it work? Is it viable? Is it something I can do? Is it something I can make a profit out of from? And yes, I was right. I came back home with the desire to change my city, to change my beautiful Mombasa, because I love my home so much. I love the cultures, I love the traditions. Why would I want to live anywhere else in the world? So I brought back my knowledge here. After studies, I finished studying, I brought it back here. We had already discussed with my mother, who is my partner in business. We both own the business, Bright LED Lighting. And we already had a running business. We were already operating actually from home. We didn't even have a shop. We had a small shop that was acting as our warehouse, but we were mostly taking orders from home. Okay, that was before we opened Bright LED Lighting. So when I came back, I used my knowledge, what I learned, the discipline that I got from when I was abroad, I applied it back home. What I love about Mombasa is, first it's the environment. You know, it's the beach. As you can see, we have beautiful beaches in Mombasa, world-class beaches actually. People pay a lot of money to come here to swim at this beach that is behind me, that we've come here for free. You know, so it's small things like this that people take for granted, but when we learn to appreciate these kind of things, life becomes very good. Imagine you're just 5 minutes away from this. Anytime you come here, just 5 minutes away. So this is actually one of my favorite spots in Mombasa. I love the beach, I love it so much. It's calming, it makes me feel tranquil. It's where it helps me to think, you know. I come here, I think about work, I think about business, the pressures of day-to-day business activities. You know, I need a place where I can channel all that. So I come here and it relaxes me, it helps me think, it tells me what's my next step, what do I do from here. So this is one of the things that I love so much about my city. My business is contributing to reducing climate change because it's a green energy source. It's an efficient energy source. Yeah, it saves energy, and this is a problem that most countries in the world are facing. They're using a lot of energy, which ends up contributing to pollution in the atmosphere. A lot of fuel is used to power up industries. What if we change that to LED lighting or even to solar lighting? Yeah, because solar lighting also uses LED lights. When you use LED lighting, you may think, I'm just one person and this is just one bulb. What impact does it have? Okay, you may not think much of it, but it has a very big impact. I believe we are doing a very good job in helping to curb climate change. We as a company, we as Bright LED Lighting, we are just a small company, but we are doing a significant amount to help in reducing pollution, climate change. We're helping climate change. I hope that future generations will take this climate change issue more seriously than we are now. We are hoping to educate the public more on this issue. We are hoping that the public should take part in cleanup activities, in sponsorship programs to help those people who have the interest to fight climate change. Yeah, a small thing like picking up a plastic on your way home, cleaning up the beach, it contributes a lot. It goes a long way in the long run. Yeah.